guys, it's Cayley. I'm back with another what sold from last week video. If you guys are new here, every week I come on and do a what sold video, which means I share my sales for everything that sold for me on Ebay and Poshmark, which are the two platforms that I'm currently selling on. Last week was a really great sales week. I reached over 7,000 again. I won't spoil the number for you, but this is now the third time I've gone over 7,000, which is pretty awesome. We're just doing the same thing that we always do. I don't think we'll be increasing anytime soon, but maybe here in a couple months we'll increase to 45. But currently we are listing 40 items every single day, Sunday through Saturday, every single day, 7 days a week. Consistency is really important in order to achieve these numbers. Let's dive in to the sales.
All right, so all of the sales that you guys see here happen between April 9th through the 15th. That is a Sunday through a Saturday, and that is how I calculate my weeks. I just pull reports from eBay, from Poshmark to generate these numbers. Super easy. So in total, I sold 268 items for a gross sales total of $7,302.66, which is amazing. I wouldn't say consistently, but frequently going over the 7,000 mark, which has been really awesome. That is a goal that I just recently broke, was breaking over 7,000. I've actually hit it a few times now. So hopefully that will continue to be a trend. But like I said before, I'm honestly okay with between 6,000 and 7,000. I feel like that's where my sales should fall. But lately I've been having some really great sales days, and we've just been finding some really top-notch items. Average sale price in total was $27.25. Estimated cost of goods based on an average buy cost was $1,072, making my estimated net $4,167.93. On eBay, I sold 129 items. On Poshmark, I sold 139 items, so pretty close there. Gross sales on eBay were $4,185.96, and on Poshmark, they were $3,116.70. Average sale price on eBay was $32.45, and on Poshmark was only $22.42. Now, I talked about it last video, but I just recently did a closet clear out. Every month I drop my prices, so I try to do that on a closet clear out day when I drop Poshmark prices, and that typically leads to a lot more sales on Poshmark, although lower price sales. I am only dropping prices for things that are 90 days or older, so I'm trying to move some of those older items, and I only drop them by 10%, so it's not that big of a dip, but it's usually enough to get some items moving. But if the following month I have the same issue and that item is still there, it'll continue being dropped 10% every month, and that's how I move a lot of older items, is on Poshmark. I move some on eBay too, but people are really enticed by closet clear out, so it's a great place to move some of your older items. So that's why I have such a lower sale price on Poshmark. But I did have some full price sales on Poshmark, which I'm going to show you guys today, and let's dive into some of those things that you could look for. So first up is an LL Bean women's canvas leather purse. I believe we showed an LL Bean bag in the last one. If not, it was the one before that, but I love LL Bean bags, like men's, women's, they both do really well. An LL Bean in general is a really great brand to look for. This is a canvas leather combo bag, and so I knew it was going to sell really well. LL Bean makes really high quality products. This one was really clean. I picked this up for $5. We listed it for $44.94, and it did sell for our full asking price. So $45 for a pre-owned bag. Really great return on investment. I definitely keep your eye out for that. Next up is a brand that I love picking up, and in my opinion has taken over the top spot in athletic wear. Like it used to be Lululemon, now I feel like it's this brand, which is Vori, and their logo is this, I guess I wouldn't call it a cursive V, but a different looking V. Vori is a fantastic brand. Sometimes you're only going to see the logo. They're kind of like Lululemon, where people pull out their rip tags. So something, to be aware of, but Vori feels very similar to Lululemon in that it has a very high quality, thick feel to it. So something to be on the lookout for. I pick up everything in Vori. It doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter the gender, it doesn't matter the style. As long as it's in decent condition, I'll get it because it all sells really well for me. I got this in wholesale from, I'm just going to say, one of my suppliers. People get really confused by either one that I say, but basically there is another reseller that I purchase items from. So they thrift with me in mind, and I purchase those items in bulk every single week. And they get paid essentially to thrift. But this came from one of those people, and I paid right around $5 for it. It is a men's crewneck shirt, long sleeve, so definitely going to up the value. We listed it for about $50. It did sell for our full asking price. Even their short sleeve t-shirts go for at least $25, usually closer to $30-$35. So just shows you how much value is in this brand. Next up, my favorite brand to sell, not my favorite, but one of my favorites, might be my favorite. It's Eileen Fisher. This brand is a mature brand, but it has a really solid following. Some people say they can't sell it to save their life. I pick up literally everything Eileen Fisher. Everything. As long as it's in decent condition, it sells really well. This one was new with tags. It was a long sleeve tunic top, a lot of things that are going to help to up value, and it was a size extra large. Lately, I have been experimenting with picking up some new with tag stuff, and you'll see some examples of that today, but there are some things I'm taking a little bit more of a chance on if it's new with tags, but I really have to factor in the sell-through rate and all that. Eileen Fisher is a no-brainer. New with tags, definitely going to pick that up. I cannot remember how much we paid for this. It was probably around $5. We listed it for around $50, and it did sell for a full asking price. Again, that was new with tags, but you can see how much value is in Eileen Fisher. This is another great brand to be on the lookout for. It is Diane von Furstenberg. If you do comps on this one, the sell-through rate is not always 100%, but it's one of those brands that it usually brings enough value back that I'm okay sitting on it. So I'll pick it up even if it's not a 100% sell-through rate. Their silk dresses tend to do pretty well. And this was a size 12, which is a decent size, 100% silk, and had this really beautiful neutrals geometric print to it. So all of those things are definitely going to help. There was even a small spot, and it was missing its belt, and it still sold for quite a bit. We paid $5 for this, listed it for around $55, and it sold very quickly for our full asking price. Next up is also something I believe I got from a supplier. This is a Victoria's Secret vintage ribbed midi dress. And Victoria's Secret vintage stuff can sometimes perform really well. I do find that their like midi to maxi length slip dresses tend to be what's very trendy, especially if it's silk. If you find silk, like snatch it up. Really, really fantastic in slip dresses. This one was not silk, but it was along the same lines. It has a faux wrap. It was ribbed, and it was midi length. And I picked this up for around $5.50, and we listed it for about $45. It did sell for our full asking price and sold relatively quickly. Next up is one of my favorite menswear brands to sell. It is Rule number 925. They no longer make this brand, so it's very popular, and because they don't make it, it becomes more rare. Not everything in this brand sells, especially in the women's department, but in men's, I find that it's a pretty decent brand to pick up. These are the Mercer low-rise boot jeans, and their jeans, especially the ones with the button fly, tend to perform really, really well. If you do find a pair of these, the style name is usually on the inside of the fly, so it can sometimes be hard to find. But this is a pretty popular style in this brand. We paid $6.99 for it, and it ended up selling on an offer for $40. Next up is this one. This one's probably my favorite brand to sell, like actually number one top spot, because No matter what I pick up in this brand, it sells lightning fast. This is Flint and Tinder. If you guys watched a thrift haul, I picked up like a massive amount of Flint and Tinder stuff as well as some other similar brands. I paid $4.99 for these. They're just a pair of men's khaki chino pants. It really doesn't matter what I pick up in this brand. Everything sells for good money. We listed this particular piece for about $40. It sold relatively quickly for our full asking price. Really amazing brand. Can't say enough good things about it. I bring it up often because I want people to know about it, because you might not come across it very often, but if you do, brings really great profits and you're going to want to know this brand. Next up is a Madewell dress. I've been really picky with Madewell lately. A lot of factors have to be there. This one did have a lot of great factor stacking. It was a wrap midi dress. It was linen blend. It was a size large and it was a mustard yellow color, which for me tends to perform really well. I paid right around $5 for this, listed it for $40-ish, and it sold for my full asking price at $40. This is a pair of Judy blue jeans. I talk about this brand a lot as well. This is a fantastic brand to pick up. It flips really quickly, especially in larger sizes. These are the boyfriend fit jeans in a size 16W. There's definitely larger sizes in this brand, but this is a pretty decent size. Thought they were cute with the distressing. I feel so confident in this brand. I usually will pay up for it even if I'm only going to double my money, only because I know it flips really quickly. I paid $8.99 for these. They ended up selling on an offer to Watcher for $33.95. I'm not necessarily telling you to pick them up for $9, only to flip for $34, but they do flip really quickly. So to me, I think it's worth it. Here's another pair of women's jeans that I just sold. This is Pilgrim and the Letterpress, which is an Anthropology brand. And I think the newer styles just say Pilgrim by Anthropology now. So something to be aware of. I don't have luck with most things in Pilgrim, but I did notice that their jeans, if they are like wide leg or, have a little bit more substantial elements to them, can sell pretty well, around $35 to $40. These ones had embroidery and they were kind of like a wide leg crop. So that was the main reason that I got them. They were also a size 31, which is a little bit larger size that does pretty well. Anything over 30, in my opinion, does pretty well in jeans in this brand. I paid around $5 for these. We listed them for around $35 and they did sell for full asking price. This is a jersey. I've actually been having some pretty good luck with jerseys lately. Jerseys are something I used to completely skip on just because I didn't feel comfortable with them. I didn't know enough about them. I knew nothing about the sports teams. I didn't know which ones were desirable. I just didn't know any of that stuff, so I avoided them like the plague. However, lately I realized that like all of the information that you need to know is already on the item. So you just need to know the brand. You can look up the stuff that's on the back and you can pretty easily figure out what the team is, who the player is, and all of that. And just by doing comps, you can figure out, is this a desirable piece or not? And so once that kind of clicked for me, I stopped becoming afraid of looking into jerseys, and I found some really profitable ones, including vintage ones that have sold for a lot more. But now when I come across a jersey, I am looking it up, and I'd recommend you do the same. So this is an Adidas NBA Indiana Pacers jersey with this player on it. I looked up all of this info to figure out if I should pick it up or not, and it was a desirable one. I paid $5 for it, listed it for $39.93. It did sell for our full asking price, and it also sold pretty quickly. There were also a couple of spots on it, and it still sold for pretty good money. So if you're someone who's afraid to pick up jerseys, just know that all the information that you need to look up is already there. Next up is an item I picked up from another reseller's death pile. This was so cute. I had a lot of interest on this really quickly. It is a Free People, or a We the Free women's bag. And I don't think I've ever found a We the Free or Free People anything handbag. So I was really excited to find this, or not find this, to hold this in my hands. I would still like to find one myself, but this was super cute. It is a corduroy tote bag. And I did not do a comp on like the bags from Free People in general, but I would imagine if they've got any form of leather on them, they're probably pretty desirable. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that in the future. I paid $5 for this. The corduroy tote bag I looked up specifically and it was performing well. We listed it for around $35 and it did sell for our full asking price. This is a category I've been picking up a lot of. This is Talbots larger size dress. This is a size 14, so not a very large size, but large enough I wanted to get it. And this multicolor print is very desirable right now for spring and summer. So I'm looking, if I see anything bright multicolor like this, I'm looking it up. Like I'm figuring out what sells well in prints like this, and I'm learning a lot about some different brands, but Talbots dresses with bright multicolored prints, especially in larger sizes, perform really well for me. I paid $7.99 for this, listed it for around $40. It ended up selling on an offer to Watcher for $33.95. And last one on eBay before we jump on over to Posh. This is a Travis Matthew men's golf pant. This is an interesting green color in a size 40, which is a larger size for men's golf pants, which I do think helped to up the value. This in general is a category I'm on the hunt for right now for spring and summer, which are golf pants and golf shorts. Very popular during this time of year. I sell a lot of them every single year around this time. And for the next several months, I'm going to be listing a lot of these, and Travis Matthew can be a great brand to look for in this type of item. I picked these up for $4.89. We listed for around $35. They ended up selling on an offer to Watcher for $29.68. Let's dive on to Posh. All right, this is a brand I just learned about, and it has a really, really high sell-through rate. Really high. Like it's very similar to Vori. I think, I'm just making up numbers, but I think it was around like a 300% sell-through rate. So pretty much guaranteed to sell if you find this. It is ASRV, and here is the logo. Really, really popular. This is just a men's long sleeve train light t-shirt, but it was a size large and it was crew neck. I picked this up in wholesale. I've never come across this brand myself, but one of my suppliers sent this to us for around $5. And I was really happy to receive it. I hope that I can find this brand where I live because it would be great. It has such a great sell-through rate, but I've never come across one, but I was happy to receive this again from one of my suppliers. So if you come across this brand and you do have it in your area, I would pick up pretty much everything in this, but give them a look up and get to know the brand. Like I said, I paid around $5. We ended up selling it for $30 on Poshmark, and I saw that their bottoms did even better. This is another category of stuff that I am looking for. Board shorts. Board shorts and swim trunks are starting to sell. And there are a few different brands that perform pretty well for me traditionally every year, and Rip Curl can be one of them, but it's a really specific style, and that's the case for actually a lot of brands. Usually there's one specific style that sells really well in that brand, so those are the ones I'm on the hunt for. They don't sell for a ton, but they are super easy to list, and they flip quickly if you price them right. I don't usually expect to get any more than $25 for a pair of board shorts, so I keep that in mind, cost-wise when I'm picking stuff up, but they can flip really well. I paid $4.99 for these. They are a Rip Curl Boardwalk short in a size 36. They have a pretty decent sell-through rate, and we ended up selling them on Poshmark for $21, so 5 into 21. Again, not a super big profit, but I come across these pretty often. I know the brand, I know the style, and I know if I price them around $20 to $25, they're going to flip really quickly. So definitely on the hunt for that. And I think that swimwear is definitely worth studying right now because this is the stuff that's selling right now. This is a scrubs top. I've mentioned this in a couple of videos. We've been selling a ton of Figs. Figs is a really great brand to pick up in scrubs, especially their technical collection. And I just learned you can actually look up the style number is right here on the inside tag. So if you're confused, is it men's, is it women's, what's the style name? You can look that up really quickly by just doing a quick Google search of that style number, and you have all the information you need. But fixed those really well for me. This was a more desirable style, so I'm glad we did look it up. I think we paid around $5 for this, and it sold for $28 on Poshmark. I've been selling a lot of figs, so if you come across figs, definitely want to look into it. These are a pair of Doc Martens. I don't think there's ever been a pair of Doc Martens that I haven't picked up. Like, I tend to pick them up even pretty beat up, and people still buy them. The only thing I will say is if there's like a chunk missing out of the tread or something, definitely not going to get it. But the tread typically doesn't have much wear because it's made out of a really, really thick, what I think is rubber. But even if the leather is discolored or has some scratches, again, it doesn't matter. It still sells really well for me. These are called the 9396i boots. These are a men's size 12. And we picked them up for only $2. Gave them a little bit of leather conditioning to bring the color back out, and they sold very quickly for $60 on Poshmark. In my opinion, these were not in the best condition. You can see we included that these have some general wear throughout, including slouching or loss of structure. Still sold for $60. So if you come across Doc Martens, I definitely think it's worth looking into because even with some wear, they still sell really well. These are an interesting pair of pants. These are Abercrombie and Fitch. I've been having some luck with this brand lately, depending on what they are. These are a specific style. Some of their military looking stuff does really well. And these are called the Paratroops pants. They are a pair of men's khaki baggy convertible cargo pants. That's what I meant to say. We picked this up for $3. They sold for $46. So definitely some styles in Abercrombie and Fitch worth looking into. Next up is a pair of Lululemon shorts. Just wanted to show you these because I know when we move into spring and summer, you're pretty limited as to what you can source. And I don't usually source shorts. Like, I don't even go to the section usually until we hit close to summer, because in almost everything in the shorts department is not valuable. It's not going to sell for a lot. It's not worth picking up for $5 to flip for like 10. So I usually skip that section. However, I feel like I'm forced a little bit to go to the short sleeve tops, sleeveless tops, and the shorts category during this time of the year because it's all people are buying. And so because of that, I want to know some brands or some things I can look for in those categories. These are a pair of Lululemon Run Hottie Hot shorts. That's the style name. I found that out by searching the info here. But Lululemon's definitely one that you want to look for in the shorts category because it can still sell for pretty good money. We paid around $5 for this. It sold for $35 on Posh. Okay, this is one that has shocked me. One of my suppliers sent me this one. I paid around $5 for it. Grayson. This is a brand I've never found in my area. She has some really great thrifting where she lives. She lives in another state. She has some really great luck with certain brands that I can never find, which is why I didn't know about this. But if you see anything with this label, I would definitely get it. It's called Grayson. It's spelled Grayson for anyone who was just listening. And this is a 100% linen, just pop over top. To be honest, if I wouldn't have known about this brand, I don't know that I would have looked this up because it's a pretty plain top. I mean, I guess I would have looked it up because it was linen, but definitely, I guess, more of a like capsule staple piece minimalist brand. In my opinion, kind of preppy, is what I could tell when I looked up this brand, but sells really well, has a great following, sells for a ton of money. This was called the Artist SS shirt, and so I put that into my title. Like I said, we paid around $5 for it. It sold very quickly for $55. You guys know how I feel about tops. Tops don't sell very well for me, but tops in this brand can perform really well. especially in linen. So keep your eye out for that. This is also something I got from a supplier. I paid around $5 for it. They are a pair of Zara women's satin wide leg pants. Wide legs are really popular right now. Pull-on pants are really popular. Flowy, like feminine pants are really popular. Not telling you to pick up everything in this style, but I have found myself lately looking up a lot of the pull-on wide leg pants in just about any brand because a lot of them are performing well, so maybe something you want to look at. Like I said, I paid around $5 for it. It sold for $29 on Posh. I think the larger size definitely helped with that. Also from a supplier, these are a pair of Athleta linen pants. I have really good luck with linen pants in Athleta. These are a size 8. We picked them up for around $5. They sold for $34. This is another pair of Athleta. These are a pair of, they were called the Kate Surge shorts, and they were like a swim short in a size large. Swimwear in this brand actually can perform really well, so worth looking into in the swimwear category. These were really cute. Paid around $5. They sold for $28 pre-owned on Posh. That's crazy for shorts. This is an outdoorsy brand I would definitely be on the lookout for. I also look for outdoorsy stuff during this time of the year because people are out hiking, camping, and things like that. And this is a great brand to look for in that department. It is Kuhl, Kuhl. Talk about this brand a lot. I found these new with tags, women's curve hiking pants. You can see they're kind of wide leg again, which is really popular right now. We picked these up for around $5. We listed them for around $50. They sold on an offer, which Posh or VA sent out for $45. This is a brand I have been trying to figure out. It is Chicos. It retails for a lot, but does not have the best sell-through rate and everything, so I'm just trying to factor stack. But this was new with tags, and I found lately that new with tags Chicos tends to perform pretty well as long as you price it right. Also been having a little bit of luck with Midi to Maxi length dresses. This was a size extra small, which is not typically something that I would get. How is this an extra small? It's not an extra small. I don't know why we listed it as an extra small. Okay, I'll be talking to someone at the office about this today. Hopefully our buyer does not come back because it's actually a size 12-14. So hopefully that buyer does not come back. Hopefully they realized it, but definitely not a size extra small. I do not know what happened there. Oh, I know what happened there. They thought it was a size 2 US. Okay, I'm going to be talking about that during today's meeting. However, anyways, I do think that the buyer probably noticed this because we have not heard back, and it's been about a week. I feel like we would have heard back by now. If you're the buyer who got this, reach out to me and we'll get that returned for you. But Chicos, Midi to Maxi length dresses, factor stacking, especially new at tags, I would definitely get. We picked this up for around $5. It sold for $38. All right, moving on from that, I got this Maeve Anthropology piece. I'm really picky with Anthropology pieces lately, but I will tell you that size large and up perform really well for me, so I'm making some exceptions for that. I got this from a supplier for around $5, and it sold for $25 on Posh, so something you might want to look for is Anthropology in larger sizes. And lastly is a men's Ralph Lauren just plaid button-up shirt, also look for in larger sizes. You definitely have to look up this brand because there is a lot of it, but 3XL tall is a very, very large size, and it tends to be more rare, and so I usually look up the larger sizes to see how they're doing, and you can usually get around $25 for them, which is what this one sold for. I paid $4.89. It sold for $26.
Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you're not already and you would like to be, don't forget to subscribe down below. If you do that and hit the notification bell, you'll be notified every single time I post these videos. And please, give me a thumbs up if you like these videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.